Today we're reviewing set 75314, the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle. This set was released in 2021 and retired at the end of 2022. It retailed for $100 but now goes between $150 and $200. It came with the entire Bad Batch crew excluding Omega. First up we have Wrecker, whose helmet uses the same mold as Iron Man's helmet. It may not be the most accurate mold, but honestly I think it gets the job done and looks pretty good. He also comes with a nice armor piece that just makes him a little bulkier, just like he should be, and on the shoulders it has a skull with 99 underneath of it. On the back of the armor piece there's two studs. Wrecker's face is great. He has one white eye, one regular eye, just like in the show. He comes with a beard. Overall great detail here. And then the torso and legs just have some nice printing as well. Now on to Hunter. His helmet has really nice printing, but it's unfortunate that it just uses a standard Phase 2 clone mold. Ideally, to be accurate, he would have a unique helmet mold. Hunter's face print is really awesome. Half of it's dark, half of it's regular skin toned, and it has two different facial expressions. He also has a hairpiece, which I really love when they include hairpieces, even though I'll probably lose it in 5 minutes. Then Hunter's torso and leg printing is pretty much exactly like Wrecker's. Now for the most unique figure in this set, Tech. Tech has a really unique, awesome helmet mold. It may be a little big and you can't turn his head from side to side, but it looks so cool and is super detailed. The visor on the helmet stays open and doesn't open and close, but you can see straight through the Tech's eyes. Towards the back, the helmet has a couple of antennae, and either side has a printed skull. Just like Hunter, Tech comes with a really nice hairpiece. One of his faces has his cool goggles printed on, and the other side pretty much looks like a standard clone head with maybe a slightly different facial expression. He comes with a nice brick-built backpack that has an antenna and also one really nice, unique 1x1 printed tile. Tech's torso and legs to me look better than any of the other figures in this set. Overall, top tier figure. Here we have Crosshair. Just like Hunter, Crosshair uses a Phase 2 helmet mold. Once again, for these figures, it'd be really nice if they added a unique mold. But for being on a Phase 2 helmet, the visor and the rest of the printing on this helmet is done pretty well. Just like the rest of the figures in this set, Crosshair has a really unique head print with the scowl and the crosshair around his eye. Crosshair's torso and leg printing is packed with detail and looks great. And finally, we have Echo. Now in the show, Echo's helmet is far more unique than both Hunter's and Crosshair's helmets. So it's really disappointing with Echo's helmet that once again we just get the standard Phase 2 helmet mold. The printing looks great for what could be accomplished on this mold, but overall it just isn't right. The face should be a lot blockier. The back of Echo's helmet should have a hole in it, which I didn't really expect them to do with this figure, but this helmet is just not a good fit to depict Echo. His head is a lot paler than the other clones' heads, which is very accurate, and you can see all of his cyborg parts. He also has a bunch of detail on the back of his head with this large oval robot part that pops out of the back of his helmet in the show. Echo's right arm has great printing with a gray hand symbolizing his robot arm. To make the difference obvious, his organic arm has no printing with a regular black hand. Echo's torso and back is chocked full of detail, really awesome. Now, when we move down to the legs, this is really unfortunate. Echo is one of the first clones to get a printed waist cape, which is really unfortunate because the style of waist cape that's printed on, if that was a cloth waist cape, would look really good. Super disappointing. We also get the Bad Batch's Gonk droid, which is pretty standard looking. In this set, we get two speeders. The more unique of the two speeders is this really nice lime green speeder for Tech. This speeder has two stickers, one on the very front, then one right before the handlebars. On either side of the speeder, you have these things that can move up and down. I would assume these are the engines. On the front, there's two bars that can slide out. I don't think they're actually supposed to, but it's a cool feature that you could play with and maybe make them like some sort of braking system. When you go to place Tech in the speeder, it can be a little difficult to get his hands to clamp onto the handlebars. I think to do it, his arms actually slightly pop out of their socket. sides. Then finally on the back, there's a clip which you can attach one of Tech's blasters to. The next speeder is Crosshair's speeder. This is pretty much just a recolor of the speeder from the 501st Legion set. This speeder has 4 stickers, one right up front, then one on every side of the slope behind the pilot seat. Crosshair can slide in and hold on way easier than the other speeder. Now here we have the Bad Batch shuttle itself. Right off the bat, you might notice that the color is not necessarily accurate. It's a sand blue when it really should be a dark bluish gray, but honestly, I think the sand blue looks really good and makes it stand out. Just like a lot of Star Wars shuttles, the wings fold up when you come into land and you can fold them down when you take off. For the cockpit, it has a really nice printed piece. It's awesome that this is not a sticker. On either side are the main guns, then underneath there are 2 spring-loaded shooters. On the back, the thrusters look decent, and then there are a couple flaps on either side that you can fold up and down. Each flap has a sticker, just adding a little more detail. In the middle of both thrusters, there's a smaller gun to defend from the rear. Overall, the exterior of this build looks pretty good, but it's honestly really disappointing with how small it is. Now, to open the ship to get into the interior, all you do is lift up on the top, which can also be a downside when it comes to the build. You have to make sure to watch where you're picking the ship up from. If you try to lift it from that top fin, it'll just swing wide open. The interior space is super limited. In the cockpit, you can seat 2 minifigures, one right behind the other. Unfortunately, the rear quarters are so small that really the best way to use it is just slide in the Gonk droid for storage. But there is a small compartment that you can open and store some small blasters. Above this area, there are a couple stickers with a really cool design. They both look like propaganda of some sort. One has a clone helmet and the other has the Republic fleet. Overall, I really like the design of the ship, but it's just really small. And at least 3 of the clones should have had a new mold for their helmet. My score for this set is an 8.3.